feel watch yo. Breakthrough in the clouds, in centuries fighting our rainy days, yo. Breakthrough in the clouds, no for them can find a way. You got feel watch yo. Breakthrough in the cloud, in centuries fighting our rainy days, yo. Breakthrough in the clouds. Long time me walking at the Lion Street. Oh, full of bad vibes, so me stay alone. It's such a bad travel when of those rainy days. Fucking weird, when me the watch around me just ride the storm. People thought of things like war over crisis. Speak them, speak, but never take no risk. Sitting on them sofa, them let others suffer in the name of consumerism. I wanna know now, yo, why the people is so shy. You say from Monday.
Welcome back. We are looking at an airplane. I know, this is not a tank. This is the FW190 A1. I have recently started playing Air RB, and this plane I do well in. Well, this and bombers, sort of, but bombers are another story. But this fighter is magnificent. This plane does very well, considering my inexperience in air battles in general, which is very different than ground battles, or very different to ground battles. But I have learned a lot about energy fighting, and, well, I have learned some things, not enough, but some things about energy fighting. I still make a lot of mistakes, but we are learning, as you can see. We also have some exciting news about a future collaboration video coming quite soon with my new friends Birdsong 62273. New name pending. We spoke about it last night. We're gonna get a new name for Birdsong. Birdsong and Sullivan, which is just an awesome name in itself. So those new dudes I met, and we had a little test stream last night. Go check out Birdsong's channel. Link will be in the description. He's got some crazy skills. And expect a future collab video with him soon, as well as Sullivan, our crew. So check out his channel in the description. We got that collab coming up. So with that, we will now switch to some gameplay in the FW190. So we're going to look at gameplay footage of a match that went quite well. There were many that went wrong, but this one went well, and we'll see if we can spot a few things. I failed many times miserably, but that's part of learning, isn't it? We fail in life and we learn from life. Yes, you don't just come here for gameplay, you come here for wisdom. And we are off. So the FW190 likes to be interceptor, it likes booming and zooming, and that's what we're going to use that plane for. At the moment we are climbing up, and we're also maintaining a very high level of situational awareness. That is one of the most important things I've learned in air battles, is to maintain awareness. Also have concepts of energy fighting. Energy fighting is such a very complex field. Only the basics are really understood by me at the moment. So, but if you have a fair grasp, it's enough. So I am climbing, and I'm trying to maintain my speed at about 280 kilometers per hour, which is the most optimal climb rate for this plane, I believe. And we're spotting a furball on the left, so we are going to start turning towards that. Okay, so we're still climbing, and we have a look at what's going on to our left, and I then see to my front there's nothing going on, so we're going to turn towards them while still climbing all the way and trying to maintain a relatively high airspeed. Now I spotted a Typhoon popping up there, and that's quite a scary plane, and the Spitfire as well, they seem to be diving, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on them, make sure that they don't try anything funny. Those two can be very tricky, and they are much better turn fighters than I am, so I'm just gonna keep climbing and maintain my current course. Right, so again I'm just making sure that the Typhoon and the Spitfire down there are not doing something funny, and I suddenly spot this close range Typhoon and immediately decide to engage. So I realize I'm coming at him from the side, and now I try and shoot, but I'm not giving enough lead at all, so I miss that. But fortunately for me, he does not decide to turn fight me, but continues to carry on straight, so I'm able to then get from the back and annihilate him with my 20 mils. I then immediately extend away, looking around again to see what's going on, and all the while I am climbing up to higher altitude, because in this plane it is very important to keep high energy levels always. So I spot that F6F down there, and we're gonna see what happens with him a bit later, but for now we're locking onto that Spitfire right down there. So I dive down, and we're going to try and go for this Spitfire directly below me. Now there is one to the left as well, but I decide to ignore him as he's in a scuffle with one of my teammates, so I go for this Spitfire further away, and he dives underneath me, so I'm not going to pursue him, but I instead lock onto his friend, which is also a Spitfire, and I'm going quite fast, so he unfortunately manages to get away from me, and instead of pursuing and getting into a turn fight with the Spitfire, I'm just going to safely extend away, gaining altitude, and there's no way that they're going to be able to follow me at the energy state that they are in, so the distance then increases. So I see this F6F to the right of the screen, and I decide he looks like an interesting target for some reason, and I abandon the Spitfire because he's not the most optimal target at the moment, I believe. So I go for the X6F, but we can see that it's a very steep dive angle, and my speed is going to pick up very quickly. I don't think I left my throttle back as I should have, and we are simply just going way too fast to get an accurate shot off on him. And instead again of going into a turn fight with him, even though he should be in a relatively low energy state, I'm just going to extend away again safely and look for a better opportunity. That's what this plane is about. It's about spotting opportunities and being patient. Right, so I level off the plane and I decide on which target in that furball down there I want to attack. And I decide that we're gonna attack the most convenient one. So I don't know what that means, but we decide on the Spitfire that's below me. So I do a little bit of a sloppy turn and we extend to the Spitfire. And this time I'm keeping a close eye on my acceleration, so I ease off on the throttle just a little bit, and that then allows me to slot in relatively neatly on his tail. Unfortunately, my poor marksmanship and lead angle means that I miss him completely. So instead of following, I overextend, and into view pops another Spitfire that's extending away from me, so I decide to engage him. And at this stage I have no 20 mils left. I'm only firing my 7.92 mil MGs, so it's gonna take a while, but eventually we get some good hits on him and we manage to set him on fire. But this just shows the importance of energy and how I was able to catch up with the Spitfire. Even though I was at a lower altitude, I just came out of a dive. So I had a lot of energy, and he was trying his best to climb away from me, but unfortunately the Focke-Wulf 190A1 does very well in climbing, and it also does extraordinarily well in diving attacks. And it does so well in diving attacks because its control surfaces are very reactive even at remarkably high speeds. So that is quite cool. But I really do enjoy this plane quite a lot.